Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 21 of this 30-day Living an Authentic Life Challenge. I am Tanya E. And today for this 30-day challenge, we are going to have a conversation about next level notes. It came across my thought that I needed to go a little bit deeper into what the next level note is truly about, because it's something that I made up, and I made it up because I needed it to help me through my process. So if you come across a moment in your life where you want to rebuild, reset, or restart, it often requires a help that is greater than yourself to get it done. It is in those moments that I found that in order for me to get some things done, I had to rely on God's promises. So part of a next level note is dealing with God's promises. In the numerous moments of my life where I've experienced it, having a clearer perspective of what a covenant is kept me. Because here's the thing about a covenant. God will honor the covenant between you and him, whether you can do it or not. And covenants are the promises that God makes that he uses to sustain you. And I know that there are some people that will say, well, what's the difference between a contract and a covenant? Well, a contract is an agreement between two people, while a covenant is a pledge. You see, with a pledge, goes just a little bit deeper. That contract is something that you can break, while a covenant is a perpetual promise. It is a seal in what you're dealing with, while a contract is something that you sign. When you seal a covenant, back in the biblical days, it was sealed with blood. It was sealed with your thoughts and processes about how it would be kept. And it maximized what was going on with that covenant through generations. You see, contracts are mutually beneficial relationships, while the covenant is something that you fulfilled and you pass it on, which is why God is a God that says he's a God of Jacob, Isaac, and Abraham. He does that because there's three different generations. We don't often think about taking our statements beyond just ourselves, but a covenant is something that will take you beyond just who you are. You can often opt out of a covenant, out of a contract, but a covenant, that's something that you need to rely on because it relies on something deeper, like your integrity and your discipline. Contracts are enforceable by court, but covenants depend on your values. An overall covenant is a better way to build relationships in both business and in life. Because a covenant you must uphold, you must keep the promise of the covenant. It's that pledge. And here's the beautiful thing that I love that I was sharing earlier, where I had to start looking at the next level note covenants that God put, because I needed him to honor those for me. Because even if you mess up, because we're human and we're flawed and we will mess up, but God will keep the covenants. He will sustain the contract that he puts himself in with you. You can fail. And what we often have an issue with the contracts that we enter in is that people fail so much that we have the same concept and a thought that we give to God about failing. No, God doesn't deal in contracts. God only deals in covenants. It is in covenants that you can ask heaven to intervene on your behalf. It is in covenants that God will do the things that he says, because there have been moments that I have asked God to honor his word. And I want you to know that you can ask God to intervene on your behalf using his word. If you call God to bear on his contract with the covenant, you can do that. Here's the thing. When I was going through that space where I felt like I was alone, God said that he would never leave me nor forsake me. I called on that. And when I called on that, God gave me the thought process that I will honor it, because that is a covenant that I have with you. There are covenants that God gives that are just you and mine, even though it looks like in the Bible that it's written for a whole lot of people. In your quiet time, in your relationship with him, he will give you specific covenants that you and him have. Because I was one of those ones that needed a covenant that he said that he will provide and protect. Because there was times when I was out provision or protection. I was one of those ones that he was speaking about when he said that I will be a mother to the motherless and a father to the fatherless, because I needed that, because I didn't have either at one point in my life. I needed God to honor his covenant because man had failed me, and man will always fail you. And that is why a covenant is so powerful. No matter how powerful you think you are, no matter how much prestige you think you have, you will come to a place where you will fail. That is why I love God being a covenant keeper. Because when I couldn't keep it, and when others couldn't keep it, he kept it anyway. So while a contract is legally binding, a covenant is a spiritual agreement that God will uphold on his own. It doesn't require you to be strong. It doesn't require you to stay involved. You just got to invite heaven in. So day 21, next level notes. We're going to have a deeper conversation, and I'm going to get myself together. You want to join the conversation? Go to my website, Tanya E. Hood, and I'll see you guys on the other side.